I probably should have done this beforehand, but okay. I just wanted to make sure that my mic was actually on the right thing because like Windows does a thing every now and again where it like switches my default mic for whatever reason. But yeah, hello, hi. As you can see, we are in the end right now. Not common that we actually work on something in the end outside of like grinding a couple of things, but oh, actually actually no, yeah, we're gonna need some seeds. So I actually need to grab some fireworks. So yeah, I have been wanting to kind of work on the island for a little while now, and like you see other people's areas, and it's at least somewhat okay, that's a little bit loud, at least on my end. I still need to work on doing like the audio capture thing. Hey Ori, how you doing? Just gonna be doing like approximately a 2-hour stream. How is the house sickness still going? Okay, so but yeah, I've been wanting to just pretty up the island a little bit. Hey, Van stream is a good stream. Aw. Well, thank you. I don't know about that, but thank you. We're all better, thankfully. Awesome. Might DM you about something later then. Of course, you might still be recovering. Never mind. Because, I mean, like, you could not be sick but still be recovering, that sort of thing. But, I'm trying to decide on what to go for first. So, I guess, do I have dirt? Oh yeah, I've got plenty of dirt. So that's going to be one thing we're going to need. So I'm just going to put this off to the side here. We had a broken bone scare, but it seems to not be broken. But we had an orthopedic appointment on Friday because that was their first available. Dang. Okay. Well, hopefully it's not a broken bone. But if it's like constantly hurting when like pressing on it or something, then it's probably something bad. Okay, we do have a couple of cherry leaves. At some point, I do want to use some cherry leaves, but I don't... actually, I'm just gonna keep this away for now, just so I can keep track of it. Hey, Kristen, how you doing? Okay, so I guess next up on the agenda, I'm sure I have like an extra shulker in here somewhere. Yeah, I don't need to make another one. Pickle her foot at school though. Hurt when the top of the foot is touched now, but she can sort of walk around. This weekend she was immobile. Dang. It's the top of the foot. I suppose there's like still a possibility it could be a pulled muscle or like a hit muscle, but a lot of that is bone, so I don't know. But yeah, I need to get a bunch of seeds just so I'm gonna be trying to put essentially a bunch of wheat around the place. I might think of other plants as oh right, I also need to think about lights. Because if I don't put lights everywhere, Endermen are just gonna pick up all the dirt blocks. Yeah, so we're hoping just badly bruised or something, but I guess we'll find out Friday. Yeah, that's a couple days away. I imagine that's a couple more days away than was preferred, but I guess you gotta make do where you gotta make do. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think I've ever broken a bone. I've gotten close. There was one incident where I got really close, but thankfully it didn't seem too bad. It was just it just ended up being a bunch of cuts. Last night was a much needed distraction. Last night was fun. For a little bit of, okay, I need to think about what I'm doing here. Okay, lights and seeds. Shoot, I don't know where I'm gonna find like more seeds. I guess where I planted some wheats around here. I haven't done much in terms of wheat planting, but we ended up having a little bit of a D&D night with some of the nobles, and two others. And it was kind of funny, well, interesting, I guess is the better term. Kind of showing Grizz and Ori the ropes. I like how when we were like midway through combat and Grizz didn't know that like moving was part of the turn, because you know it seems so obvious, you know, to a seasoned player, but although there's actually one rule that I might need some re-clarification on, because I've been doing different systems, and different systems have different ways of spending a turn. Haven't either, never broken again. And he couldn't walk on his left leg Saturday. Took him to the ER, he sprained his knee. Okay, at least it's just a sprain. By Sunday, he was begging to have the wrap off and kept saying it was fine. I'm glad you did that, because I had no idea either. Yeah, no, that's completely fair. I'm glad, I mean, out of everything, at least it's just a sprain. Oh, I have a couple diamonds here. I wonder if someone has refilled this now community stock. I don't think it's been refilled, but I shall take some. I think I am going to inevitably need some lugs. Boop, boop. So keep that for later. I might honestly just go on a mad like cherry session just to refill that up whenever I'm. But I honestly should just start keeping a list of things I should do when I'm not feeling creative in class again. Yeah, I figured you would. Sorry, Blank. I would have started later, but funny enough, I do have a D&D session at around 4 o'clock my time, which is when I was thinking of starting. I was like, oh yeah, I have that session at 4. Like, have fun. You as well. As far as broken bones go, only Andy and my sister have broken anything. I just had this conversation with my 2 oldest nephews on Sunday. Interesting that you're talking about broken bones on Easter. Okay, is there any... Oh. I'm sure Gage wouldn't mind me fiddling around with this temporarily. But I guess I gotta think about where to get some lights. I could just do a bunch of torches for now. I think I have the coal for it. And obviously, eventually it will be replaced, but big emphasis on the eventually. And the problem with that is that some people on the server don't have... Wait, no. Or you have all particles off, correct? If that's the case, torches should not be a problem. Because that's like the one downside of using torches, is that they constantly give out particles. But yeah, I broke. No, I was about to say I haven't broke a bone, but I have almost once. I was essentially going. It was when I was a young kid. I was going down a hill on a scooter, and the impressionable kid I was, I had just like watched the Speed Racer movie in theaters, so this was probably the summer of 2008. And there was this there was the somebody discovered something. I actually do want to talk to Baloo a little bit later about a possible plot point, because I think it could be fun. And hopefully jumpstart some things. But what ended up happening during the movie was that at some point, Speed, the main character, yes, his name is literally Speed Racer. He's like, he's trying to feel out what the car needs. It's like a car racing film. It's like a futuristic, crazy car racing film. That's the best way I can describe it, with lots of like family sort of themes. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it, especially if you find yourself dissatisfied with current like live action anime adaptations. I guess that's enough seeds to start. I don't think I'm gonna get too far, considering. Well, I don't know. I guess I should probably. Actually, I'm gonna go over to the sheep farm real quick, just so I can get, you know, some type of wool. What would stand out against Endstone? Probably red. Red would probably work. And I like how you explain his name. I grew up on the original cartoon. That's the thing. Not that many people have. Like, if anybody, and like people even my age, you know, the age of like 20s or less, unless they like originally watched the movie. Oh, I thought I was stuck inside the building for a second. I was about to say I need to be careful where I point. I'm not sure if that matters, but okay, look up, doofus. Okay, take some red wool. Actually, you know what? I might AFK here while I'm doing my D&D session. Ooh, more wheat. Don't mind if I do. But during the movie, he kind of like closes his eyes to try and feel the car. You know, typical shonen protagonist, last stand superpower stuff. Which honestly, I'm so glad they had a moment like that in the movie. It's so cheesy, but I love it. But in any case, I thought as a kid it would be a good idea to close my eyes while riding the scooter down the hill. And I inevitably ran into something, which somehow it was like and there was like some construction fencing because they were like trying to put in a sidewalk somewhere, and that's what I ran into, which probably did soften my fall a bit, but it gave me a lot of cuts, and my parents were very paranoid about infection. Oh, that's right, I'm the old person here. Yeah, sorry. It's but yeah, that's the that's the story where I almost broke a bone. I very well could have if I was a little less fortunate. And anytime my dad retells the story, he basically yeah, I was a very obsessed kid. If you couldn't tell by the like hundreds of hours I've put into this game, apparently, on what was it? Multi-MC, it captures like the amount of gameplay, like in actual hours and whatnot. And I started using Multi-MC regularly about almost 2 years ago now. And I am, I believe, almost up to 1,000 hours in total. So that's a fun little fact. So the first building, I think I want you to be able to kind of walk around here. At least you kind of have a cool story, trying to be Speed Racer in red. Yeah. To be fair, Speed Racer did wreck in the film once. That does not justify it whatsoever. Actually, I think I'm gonna get rid of this little booster thing. Funny story. There have been quite a few Endermen that have died to this little contraption because they keep falling into the pit and just like boosting up and taking fall damage. Because apparently, the whole non-fall damage thing when you use breezes, that only that seems to only apply to players. I could be wrong on that though. Surely I have some endstone around. Do I not? Come on. I almost broke my neck, and my cool story is that the horse that bucked me off hadn't been turned out in 3 weeks. You mean that like exercised or I forget what the word is, but like I know, I think I know what you mean though. But I mean, horses, not, yeah, no, that's, oh, you guys haven't seen this, but this is a little hallway I made to kind of connect the shulker factory up to the rest of my base. And yeah, if you couldn't tell, I do like the liminal aesthetic, because this is not the first time I've done something liminal. I did a pretty big liminal hallway in Nations of Nobles Season 1. But honestly, like, falling off a horse is not, it is, I wouldn't say cool. It's more of like a serious story, but like in terms of, it's definitely not a lame way. But the risk and reward for that one is just pretty disproportionate, because if you break your neck, there's so many things that could go wrong outside of just your bones. Okay, what was I down here to get? Endstone. Good grief. I'm a mess. Actually, it'd probably be easier. Now that everything's starting to be properly connected, in order to like get quote unquote out of bounds, I need to put in more work. Here we go. But while I was making that hallway, I decided to record a video that will probably be going out next Tuesday. Because I don't know, I like working on Tuesdays, I guess. But here's the redstone stuff. There we go. But I've been kind of thinking about a certain topic a lot, and I have mentioned it on stream before, but I didn't do a very good job at explaining my point. That's a little too close. I think I'm gonna do it like one block back. Like maybe have some random buffer block like smooth stone or something. But I'm but like, yeah, if you hit your spinal cord or something, or if it stretches or tears, it is not great. But I've been thinking about doing like just not rant videos, just more like ramble videos. Because there are times, especially when it comes to Nations and Nobles, where I'm trying to kind of have more of a proper structure. Where I can't really put in a ramble in the video, especially considering that it doesn't really have anything to do with the build or anything. So I've been thinking of just having them as their own standalone videos, if they're, you know, substantial enough. And so that's what I've been kind of experimenting with. And I guess we'll see how it turns out. If you guys aren't a huge fan, then okay, I'll just kind of put it in maybe like my single player videos, because that would probably be a better time to do it. And if it works out, cool, it works out. Because I've been finding myself rambling a lot in my own head, especially at work. No, anything spider related or spine or head related is not good. Watch a girl get bugged off and she forgot the last 45 minutes of her day. Yikes. And the dog is barking. Someone's probably coming home. Actually, no, it's a little too early. There's probably just someone walking out the front door. Because she Autumn is her name. She likes barking at lots of things. You know, squirrels. She's part well, she's part dachshund, part pity. So as you can imagine, the prey drive is quite strong with that dog. So if she sees like a squirrel or something, she'll probably just start barking. Though if she continues, I might have to check in, because, you know, the whole, you know, girl who cried wolf situation. Because there is a point where you just start thinking, oh, the dog's just barking at nothing, but... what was I doing? Tasty treats, right. Thank you, Ori. Honestly, that food's probably gonna last me to the end of the season. I'm hoping. But I do not know anyone personally who's had like a major head injury. I know that one time I fell off my skateboard. I kind of had like a tingly, okay, so I landed on my back, including my head. Like my head wasn't the first to hit the road, but I did kind of have like a tingly sensation, like the pins and needles. Never told anybody about it, didn't tell my parents about it, nothing. It's just like, cool, you know what, I'm just gonna sit here for a minute and I'll be good, because I didn't feel like awful or anything. It was just the pins and needles. That being said, you know, don't follow my example if that happens, tell somebody. But I haven't gotten any major problems from that little incident, so I think I'm good. Like, she was doing demonstration in my class and got bucked off. Forgot she had already gotten training. Baby, and didn't recognize her in the arena with someone else working with her. That's interesting. Me, okay, true. Rephrase, I don't know anybody IRL that's had a head injury. So I know that I'm gonna be probably having these are not the final outlines whatsoever. This is more for visualization's sake, and probably continue like the path down through here. Make it a little more straight. Nope, don't make the joke. Don't make the joke. Don't worry about it. Now I do realize that like literally the whole point of the stream is making the island pretty, and I'm doing quite the opposite of that at the minute. But there is a method to my madness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Probably explains a lot, really. What are you insinuating? We like you just the way you are. Time to trigger Beardo by not having odds on the alternation of blocks here, but who cares? Not me. Okay, that's gonna at least be somewhat of the path. And I'm probably gonna have like some buildings kind of surrounding it. So what it looks like, or actually, no, I feel like there's one friend of mine who may have broken a bone, but like we've just happened to never talk about it before, because he's definitely a risk taker. Though he's not much of an outside person, so I don't know. That did not sound convincing. Oh, phooey. So probably like small buildings by this way, and I know that there's going to be a building, like this is probably going to be the first building right here, kind of surrounding this ladder, because this is how I get in, right? This is the right, yeah. And oh, I picked up the wrong thing. I was trying to get fireworks. Boop, boop, boop. Again, thank you, Ori. Oop. You saw nothing. Okay. Hey, Tinakin, how you doing? It's gonna be trying, quote, emphasis on trying, because I don't often do this sort of thing, but I'm gonna be trying to make this area look somewhat pretty. I'm just trying to get a basic outline of some of the buildings in this area, so I am able to, you know, do the environment stuff and visualize all that. Oh my goodness, I'm explaining this terribly. Are you wearing a pumpkin? No. I'll be honest. I just don't wear pumpkins when I'm in the end. And yeah, sometimes that's a little annoying, but I don't care. I don't know, I just rather have that extra protection just in case something happens. Sticks, right. So there's some torches. Dang it, I don't have any storage. I say as I have like multiple different storage places, I'm just too lazy to go there right now. But how are you doing, Tinakin? How is everything? Starting to get closer to the evening for you, isn't it? Okay. Bunch of torches. I'm gonna see if this actually works. I don't know if this is like specifically on the server. Only 3 days of work this week? Nice. But on the server I've noticed, especially down below where I've been working, if I have lights somewhere, Endermen don't really spawn. I don't know if that's like a normal Minecraft thing, but I'm gonna make use of it. Can't stay long, I need to edit a video. That is fair. Yep. 6, 7. I'm gonna try and do 7 per block. Or better yet, do I have this thing? Yeah. I don't use this tool very often, but I do have it just in case I want to speed things up or do it a little more mindlessly. But I'm going to see if this actually works, and if Enderman keeps spawning, then, well, rip. But yeah, I need to get into the practice of not waiting until the very last second to edit. I've been trying to do that, but like so far, all I've really been able to get to is like trying to structure when I work on things rather than what. And I think part of that is because I can be extremely temperamental on what I want to work on. So, okay, maybe I should just keep it somewhat random. Just make sure I have some of the video edited before literally the last day. Like the last video I made, that was kind of another instance of me literally editing on literally the last day, just smashing it all together. Now, part of that was because I didn't have all the clips that I needed at the time, and I was recording a little bit out of order. But I've already like figured out ways to kind of get around that issue, which is basically just having separate timelines. I think I'm just a little bit either lazy or busy or something along those lines. But yeah, I'm hoping, like, most of the work I have for next week's video is just editing, so I should have enough time to do that. I excel at doing things at the last minute. I mean, like, there is a certain... I watched a video as of recently, and it kind of asks the question, you know, are you actually naturally good at working at the last minute, or are you so well practiced at doing it at the last minute that you're able to excel at it? And I mean, like, if you practiced more doing it, you know, when you had plenty of time, would you be better at that? And it's a good question. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not sure if I'm going to ever be able to answer that question. So we've already covered up most of the island. It's mostly just the edges now. But when we do, I'm going to fly away, hopefully get these Endermen to despawn, and come back, see what happens. I refuse to think about the answer to that question. It's a hard one, ain't it? It's we shall remain gleefully unaware. Or blissfully unaware, I think is the usual term. English is my first language, by the way. Nah, whenever, like, so in America, I'm pretty sure this is the case for a lot of places as well, but you're kind of required to, at least in middle school? No, it was high school. I was required to take 2 classes of a language class. And for some reason, you know, I thought, oh, you know, what would be the most useful language The language of a country that's literally right next to me as a Texan. German. So I took German class of all things, and I retained absolutely none of it. Because I don't know, language is just not my thing. Like, I can write a good essay, but in terms of like speaking and whatnot, or write a good essay in English. I mean, I love that you try to learn German at least. The main thing that like I was pretty, from what my teacher said, I was pretty decent at pronunciations. The main problem for me was like all of the different possible ways of referring to an object, because of like masculine, feminines, and neutrals, I think. Because you would have... Why am I going down here? I'm not going to decorate down here. Heck, I'm not even going to decorate down there. In fact, if anything, I should probably take those torches out, because then that would make it a little less likely for the Enderman to try and spawn up there. So I'm actually going to take these out. But keep getting phone calls. Apparently my phone number is linked to a person who never changed theirs, so I always get called about a Herald. Everybody always rags on Americans for not learning another language. I guess that's valid in part, but one thing I hear talk about is how easy it is to immerse yourself in the English language stuff. It's harder for other languages. I think immersion is very important. Yeah, I've heard that it's pretty important as well. But like, I'm so like, when you learn English, there's no such thing as like an object or an inanimate object being female or male, so you don't have those like predicates. It's either he, she, it, they, them, that sort of thing, and that's like the only thing that changes in the sentence. And sometimes not even that, depending on the context. And that's just like that. I just couldn't get it down. It was just, to me, it was too much to remember. Like, I'm very well aware what I'm about to say is going to be wrong, but mine jacket. I have no idea, like, I can never remember what, if jacket is either feminine, masculine, or whichever it is. And that basically goes for everything. So as you can imagine, trying to make a full sentence that refers to any object is basically where I fall apart. Like 25% of my English is what I learned from class, and 50% from Harry Potter fanfiction. The rest is watching TV and being on the internet. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I remember more about world history from like the History Channel than my actual history. Except for one teacher, she made it fun. She just kind of brought a nice energy to the class. Anyways, now I'm really going. Have fun. All right, see you around, Tinnikin. Have a good one. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to see if this is actually a thing in vanilla as well, because this would be really handy for some people. But apparently, at least on the server, if you have lights around, Endermen do not spawn. Very interesting. It's just that like the window is a bit smaller, and it's harder to tell because, you know, the light level is like the base light level is not just black. It's what is the base light level? Let me guess. It's not really gonna tell me. Okay, I need to go over here first. What is the base light level? If it just tells me okay. It doesn't actually tell me. Maybe because like what 0 is represented by is brighter in these dimensions? I don't know. But yeah, helpful tip, guys. Or maybe. I still have to make sure if this works in vanilla, but I don't see why it wouldn't. But apparently, lights can ward away Enderman. The only issue is, you know, of Enderman teleporting over, but that happens so rarely when they're not agitated that honestly I am not that fussed about it. And wait, on this server, don't we have it so that Enderman can't pick up blocks anyway? Whatever. It was still kind of nice to do this. Okay. So that being said, I do kind of want to do a little bit of a sample here. Sorry, I'm quiet. Making Team Loco decals for Andy and Hunter's baseball team. Oh, you're all good. I am just kind of chilling. I just realized I put this little pocket. I just filled this pocket in, and now I'm digging it back up. But I want to sample and see what the wheat actually looks like. Hey, Toaster, how you doing? How is your day going? Currently just kind of experimenting at the minute, seeing what would look good on the end island. My first thoughts are like cherry tree related stuff and like moss, dirt, and as well as like wheat. So kind of like a neon naturalist sort of look. That's the best way I can really discuss it. So where is my dirt? Here we go. Most of the dirt's going to be used for the wheat, but we'll see if it works. And I mean, if nothing else, then I'll at least have a pretty solid way of getting a bunch of wheat for target blocks. Because honestly, out of everything, I would, like, now that dispensers are a little bit easier to make, I would say target blocks are probably one of the more annoying redstone blocks to get. Unless you have like an entire automated setup for it, which I guess, yeah, that does kind of make my point mute. Do I have any buckets? I'm sure I have buckets lying around in some chest somewhere, and I'm gonna guess it's actually down here. My first guess, is it correct? It appears not. Or it may be. My day's going fine. Super hyped because of the Oblivion remaster. I heard about that. I haven't really had much exposure to the Elder Scrolls outside of like my friends. Oh, here's one water bucket. I tried playing Skyrim on the Switch once, and I'll be honest with you, I couldn't get into it. Like I got through like the first dungeon, quote unquote, where I think you like freed a guy from some spider trap and you end up having to kill him anyways or something like that. But I ultimately just have a hard time with open world games. Unless they are exactly to my liking, or they have mechanics that I'm already familiar with, because otherwise I just kind of get overwhelmed. Actually, let's put you back here. For now, that's the wrong block. And now I need a hoe. I'm not sure. I don't think I actually have a proper hoe anywhere. So we'll use the stone one. I probably should have picked one up at this point. Just for leaves. In fact, I'm probably gonna have to make one pretty soon here, because of the cherry leaves I'm gonna need to grab. Like a light, looks like. Yep. I always forget how touchy seeds can be with light. And in the end, it's being interesting. So, oh wait. I should probably make some lanterns, huh? That might make it a little bit easier, just so I can slap it in the water. And we should be good. Actually, I could instead go for pearlescent frog lights, considering I already have a bunch of those. And then put a trapdoor on top, because I don't want to be accidentally walking in the water anyways. And also, I don't want the water showing up too much, so that's probably the best way to go. I'll probably do. And then I'll worry about getting the trapdoors for this later. Now I know this will probably look a little funky in shaders, because the shaders that I have, and some other people as well, you actually get the lights, like the color lights from the frog lights. Dang, this looks pretty. But I mostly play with shaders off anyway, just because it's less information for my brain. I actually prefer Oblivion over Skyrim. In Oblivion, you truly feel the open world, while in Skyrim, at low levels anywhere I go, outside of the main quests, are some overpowered bear kills me. Yeah, I could see how that would be a problem. I guess it like having an RPG with an open world setting kind of is a cause for some issues. The feeling of getting overwhelmed by the open world is my favorite part. I guess I'm just not into that sort of thing then. So 1, 2, 4. Because anytime I try... Ooh, what did I break into? Okay, just an under part of the island. Nothing to be too worried about. Like, say for instance, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild that much. Like, I can admit that it's like a well-made game, and I haven't really played Tears of the Kingdom, mostly because you know, why get the second version of a game that I know I don't like? But I feel like you're kind of discouraged from combat, because if you anytime you get into combat, all your weapons kind of break, so it just, you know, it doesn't really make it worth it for me. And the thing is, like, combat half the time is the tool you use to you know, get somewhere or to get past an obstacle or something along those lines. So not off to a great start, and also I'm not much of a puzzle guy, so and that's kind of what Zelda is. So yeah, probably not my best, the best series for me to play. But in terms of, okay, I need to empty my inventory out. But in terms of Skyrim, and also whenever I play, oh goodness, I'm so out of space, it's unreal. I kind of have this, I tend to get exhausted, like mentally exhausted when playing an open world game. Now I'm sure if I ended up at some point, you know, completing the game and then playing it over again, I'd probably feel a little less overwhelmed because I would at least know the mechanics and what have you. But I don't know. There's just like so many other games I'd rather play. That I still haven't finished. Ever played Astroneer? I have not. I will be honest with you, I haven't even heard about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, so. Oop, there he goes. I'm always like ready for that break sound, but I always get jump scared by it a little bit. I'm gonna have to pick up some bone meal to get a better idea of this. Is all the seeds that I was able to get? I think so, but I wouldn't be surprised if I left some seeds in the chest somewhere. Yep, here we go. And I guess on that note, I do need to make a hoe, so I'm just gonna make an iron hoe just so it lasts slightly longer. But yeah, speaking of unfinished stuff, like I haven't really been able to play, or well, okay, unable is kind of subjective here because technically I could play these games right now. I could just I could turn off stream and just start playing them, but I spend so much time playing Minecraft that I often find myself just not really getting into it. So that, like, there's games like Psychonauts 2 that I really liked when I was able to play it a couple times, but I'm just never able to finish it. Hmm. One, two, three, four. That should allow it, right? Yeah. At least that shouldn't. Yeah. Astroneer is a space exploration / colonization game. The name comes from astronaut and engineer. Okay. So it's like it sounds a little bit sandboxy. Sometimes if an open world is sandboxy, Ooh. Nope, that immediately took out quite a number of plants. Interesting. I'm gonna have to do some research and see what light level is required. Because this is going to be quite touchy, because it's treated like night. But it's hard to see that visually. And if I want to make a big, plantation, it's going to be a little bit difficult to get in a bunch of lights without it looking odd. I imagine there are ways, but I am not aware of them at this very second. Don't mind me just dive bobbing into into the end portal. Oh, that's empty too? Dang. I need to, or at least I should, set up some sort of breeze farm, but, or at least consistently go out and get the breeze rods, but man, I always forget. But I mean, not even just like well, I guess also sort of not just video games as well, but also I have a tendency to get a little bit behind when working on D&D stuff, because like I have 2 campaigns that I have been working on and off about. And like one is more of like a 3-shot, which, or well, I could extend it into way more if I wanted to, but I've been promising myself to try and keep it, relatively small scale. But it's almost a little bit of a horror type D&D game. And then that one doesn't have a proper name yet. But there's also another campaign called Red Skies that I have been working on and off on it for like probably 4 years now. And the problem is that it's not very consistent, because I have a tendency to go, oh, I don't really like this anymore, just completely scraps it, and I lose a bunch of progress. Because I am smart. I think at some point I will... Oh. Did not mean to do that. Hey, Baloo. How you doing? We're just trying to experiment a little bit, see if wheat's gonna look all right in this setting. I don't see why it wouldn't. Yeah, I think especially if we get like some of the pink from the cherry trees mixed in, I think go pretty well. How's it going? Pretty well. How's it going for you? But overall, yeah, it's just like I think I need to set aside like at least 1 point in the week just to work on D&D stuff, because otherwise I'm never gonna get back to working on it again. Like maybe just like I've actually heard a small tip in like a productivity where it's like, just focus on doing like a small thing at a time. And in the context of D&D, it's like, you know, doing one NPC, doing one scene, you know, that sort of a thing. Yeah, that blends into the Endstone a lot better than I thought it would. Going good, having a very busy period, but things are slowing down now, which is nice. Yeah, I saw that you put in the Discord that things are starting to get a little lighter on you. Oh, I never put water here. I was actually, if I don't chat with you about this later, do remind me, but I would like to discuss a possible plot thing with you, if at all possible. Where's the other bucket? I don't know where the other bucket went. I am a mess. I seriously need to get this all organized into these chests, you know, the thing I spent hours organizing. Yep, of course, cool. Okay, so I think I'm pretty sold on the whole wheat field thing, and honestly, I might just do a bunch of around here. I'm gonna make this more of a circular look that actually tries to look like it conforms to the surrounding terrain a little bit, rather than just being kind of random. So something like that. Hey Sean, how you doing? Trying to figure out the shape. I'm like trying to go along with the terrain, but not too literally. I suppose I could like do a rough shape and then just look at it from above and adjust. Ready for hibernation. Honestly felt. I've been thinking about taking a nap for the majority of the day, but it's just like, well, I mean, I have the stream at 1 o'clock and I have a D&D session at 4, so and I wanted to have a walk this morning, so it doesn't really leave that much room. Does that kind of go okay? Maybe do that, because I kind of want to make this look a little more roundy. Do that. That'll work. Hey, Riskier, how's it going? Actually, no, I'm gonna... How do I want to do this? I might just delete this little section here. Flatten it out. Not bad, you? I'm doing... Jeez. Not doing bad myself, just trying to figure out how to do this sort, like what the general feeling of the terrain is going to be around my place, because I've been kind of having it as a plain end for a little too long. outside of that, just been trying to relax while also trying to get some YouTube stuff done. Okay, so... I keep running out of inventory space. Should I just... Yeah, I'll make another shulker box for now. Actually, no, I should have a shulker box somewhere in here, right? Like an empty one? Yeah, here we go. Just for now, which is what I always end up saying before it becomes a big monstrosity. But yeah, I ended up having a walk this morning, and I ended up, you know, wondering about, you know, just general channel stuff. Because, you know, whenever I get walking and listening to music, I just have a tendency to let my mind wander off. And... do I... Yeah, no. Sorry, I'm a little bit scatterbrained at the minute. But yeah, just trying to work on my workflow in general. There are some things that I'm not sure whether or not to keep secret at the minute, but we'll see. So, fill up the dirt here. I don't know, in terms of the wheat, I don't know how much I want around. Maybe like 1 or 2 like big spots with like maybe a couple of other smaller spots. We can keep secrets. Nah. I also need to figure out some sort of strategy to keep these places lit without having a bunch of obnoxious holes. Because as soon as I take this torch out, it's goodbye to plants. Even though I have like lights all around this general area, it seems to get a little weak. What? No trust. What a tease. Sorry. Probably would not have mentioned it if I wasn't so scatterbrained at the minute, but hey, it happens. I know that does not make it any better. The thing is, like, I tend to keep secret about some stuff, mostly because I don't know if I'll finish it. So you don't, obviously you don't want to hype people, or okay, quote unquote hype. It's not really that big of a deal, but you know, have people expecting something when it's not, when it may or may not happen, you know? Though I suppose I could show you guys something with no context. I'll leave it up to you guys to vote for yourselves whether or not you want to see it, because it is still in the midst of production. And I will say that, like, it's not too spoilery if you guys saw it. teasing us with his secrets. Teasing? I don't. Okay, maybe it is like some accidental teasing. Okay, I need to figure out how to. I guess I'll just bite the bullet and have another random water bucket here. Guess that's should be all the further it goes. Okay, put like one torch here and then here, and should be good. Right? Honestly, what I might end up doing is just... Okay, I ran out of water. And boop. And then, oh, do I have any more dirt? Actually, I think I have an idea, kind of, on how I want to organize this now that I'm thinking about it. It's going to be a little bit weird looking, though. Oop, almost forgot to put that in the light here. Now, at some point, I do kind of want to intermix some other plants in the wheat, just so it doesn't look so plain. I'm thinking like some 2 tall plants, but for right now, I kind of want to do it with a painting. You know, like paint the background. That is the wheat, and then put in the details later. Sorry. Sorry, I did not mean to be that teasery. It's not that big of a deal, I promise. Wait, nope. I should be able to take this one away. I think it's, I'm going to start a new survival. Oh, hey, Peter. I'm going to start a new survival world that's just flat world, but all endstone. No, I'm not. I would generally advise against that. Endstone is not exactly the easiest block to build with. I suppose if you made it like a single biome and it was just the end, well, no, because I don't think the usual end stuff would spawn, so you wouldn't be able to get a pickaxe. At least in the overworld part of the super flat world. So, yeah, I'm not sure if that one's really well, actually, no, you might get some villages. I think the villages are just a saving grace of any super flat world. At least from what I've heard. Get a dirt. I don't know which ones like absolutely have to be there right now, and to be quite frank, I'm not very interested in finding out. Seems like a comically bad idea. I'll pitch it to Grimer for his 7K server. I'm sure that will go over swimmingly. The thing is, I don't even think it properly even, like, having the biomes doesn't even properly work. Because if it did, then it'd be kind of fun. But I don't think that's how it works. But I'll be honest with you, I have not checked Grimer's sub count as of recently. I know he had 6K not terribly long ago, but I haven't really checked into to see if he's closer to 7K at this point. Probably get rid of this. It's just gonna be annoying. I think it's to 6.6K. Oh, nice. Glad he's growing at a steady rate. Something just got in my eye. Holy smokes. I've been getting that a lot recently. Either like my eye gets dry. I think it's because of the allergies. Like it feels like all times of the year have some sort of like allergy thing with me. Like in like late winter, like I can't breathe through my nose. I randomly noticed it yesterday when we dropped the weekly Planet Crafter video. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's almost impossible for me to keep up with that stuff because it's just, I guess it's mostly just because I have my own things to do. And I do like either post daily or very close to daily. And I just can't keep up. I've tried to watch where I can though. Okay, probably need a torch right here. I agree, it's hard to keep up with everyone's everything. Yeah. Let's put another water right here. I'm gonna try not to think too hard about the water placement. Watching YouTube ends up distracting from my anime watching, but I put on a second screen while working a lot. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, when it comes to anime, I'm usually actively watching with another person. Mostly because I generally don't pay for subscription services unless I absolutely need it. And also, I don't know, there's something about watching anime specifically with friends that I find a lot more enjoyable. Or like shows in general. Like whenever I'm watching a show, I usually try to give it my full attention. Speaking of watching anime with friends, one of the reasons I was asking about whether the house was like calming down or was because I was considering asking you if you want to watch some anime again. I keep thinking, why am I paying for this? About every streaming service I have, except Crunchyroll. Yeah, I feel like at some point I should just cough up the money for Crunchyroll, because usually I like anime a lot, but like we're gonna end up moving before too long again, because the house has some issues. Okay, it's not so much that the house has issues, it's just that certain things happen that we did not account for, and having an extra bedroom would be very, very nice, and also the cost on this, the cost of rent on this house just went up randomly, and it'd be nice to go back to that baseline that we had originally, so... Yeah, we're gonna be trying to move again, so I've been trying to save my money on certain things, like I canceled my Nintendo Switch Online subscription. 100% I was thinking about that this morning. Sweet. Yeah, we can talk about availability later in the evening. I like, usually when I'm playing D&D, I'm able to respond to messages and what have you. I also kind of want to play Risk of Rain 2 tonight. I've been playing a lot of Risk of Rain, especially with friends. We've been playing with quite a few mods as well. If for those who don't know, Risk of Rain 2 is a roguelike. It's an entire party in the chat. But you have a bunch of different classes. Risk of Rain. Yeah, apparently the name came from, like, there's always a risk of something going wrong. And apparently the original creators really liked idioms. So that's where it came from. And I enjoy it a lot. And since it kind of goes off of like different classes, there's a whole bunch of different mods that add like a whole bunch of custom classes, and I've been really liking, I forget which mod it was. It was a friend that put together the mod pack, but I've been really liking the Arsonist class. I've been having to figure it out a lot, which is made a little bit awkward, but you know, it's fine. Sloth stream for me to listen to while I'm still sick. Yeah. How's that going, CJ? Is it improving at all? And welcome in. We're just ready for Thursday. Why, yes, I am addicted. Oh, right. I every single time I play D&D, it's always been like a weekly thing, like once a week. Oh man, I'm gonna be playing tabletop RPGs like 3 times this week, which I am not complaining. I was better yesterday. Today, not so much. Coughing stuff up now. Yikes. I hope you get better soon, man. Okay, so I'm pretty confident at this point that I do want to have the hay in, but now I kind of want to, and I do kind of want to fill in the rest of the dirt, but I do kind of want to think about other ideas now. So my D&D Monday, Thursday, and Starfinder Friday. Ooh, I've not played Starfinder, or maybe I've played it once, but I don't remember. No, I'm thinking Pathfinder. I'm pretty sure I haven't played Starfinder. I want more. Yeah, same. So for a little bit of context, I've been playing in another campaign that's actually a custom system made by our friend Tommy, called High Tides. which we've been waiting to play for, what, at least 4 years? CJ probably knows to heart more how much time it's been. But this is essentially like High Tides 3 or 4. There's a couple of times where we aren't sure whether to count it. So it's essentially like a sequel campaign. The last one we did was under the Dungeons and Dragons system. But at the minute, I'm playing what's equivalent to a barbarian Dragonborn. It's not quite the same terminology, but that's basically what's the equivalent to. Been playing a High Tide since the middle of my game, so like 2021. So yeah, about 4 years. And I basically he's just a big himbo. And there's this one point because this class gives you the ability to essentially take an attack for somebody else. So I took a bullet for CJ's character, not an actual bullet, but that's the usual phrase. And and I said something dumb like, "I'm the best." he is certainly a character. Himbo characters are so fun to play. Just to get to be Grunk for a few hours, yeah. So yeah, that's a pretty satisfying size and shape for the hay. I'll probably do that off stream. I play, yeah, CJ plays Big Lion. I didn't know that was an option, but sure. I know we had like a beast people sort of thing, but like literally playing a lion. It was an interesting choice. Beastkin, yeah. So what other kind of details do I want to add here? Tommy allowed it, so yeah. No, Tommy's usually pretty chill about that. So I think a pretty fun idea is having like a sort of cherry tree. Also, it's totally not Aslan. It feels very much like Aslan. I'm just waiting for the quote of do not cite the ancient magics to me. I was there when it was written, or at some point, or at least some alternative version of it. He's like super serious. Like he's not for once. CJ is not playing the edgy character, but he is playing a serious character. The last time we played High Tides, I ended up playing basically an enlightened monkey. I'm not gonna mention his name here. That honor goes to the G-Man. Interesting. Okay, where did I put my cherry stuff? Probably in the wood chest. Yeah, silly little monkey man indeed. So I guess for the cherry logs, I'm probably gonna have to do the whole... Oh, right, I forgot. On the server, you're just able to... You don't get any loss on that. So... right around here. This is kind of why I wanted to have a basic idea of the sidewalk, just so I can figure out details a little bit closer. This is going to be a very rough sketch, especially considering that there is a beacon right there. I don't want to cover up. Okay, make it a little thicker on this side. I guess at some point I'm going to have to figure out what block to kind of intermix this with, because I don't want it to just be... the cherry wood logs, but I'll worry about that later. I guess I do kind of want it to lean over the road a bit. And does that look decent? A decent... Okay, it's hard to tell because the background is black. Or, well, very, very dark purple. I did not consider this possibility. Maybe I should outline with a different color. And then just cover it back up later. Nah. Five, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oop. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1. Does that general shape kind of work? I don't know. And also, I think I want to make the tree thinner. I don't want it to be... I kind of want to have a somewhat palm tree aesthetic. At least in how it's leaning and the general thickness, but not literally a palm tree. Hopefully that makes sense. Unfortunately, I can't really... This has some unfortunate placement, unfortunately. I'm tempted to make this a little bit thicker again, but I don't know. I think it'll be fine. So that being said, I think I need to make this a little bit shorter. Hey, Jeff, how's it going? Welcome on in. Hopefully you're having a good day. Just trying to figure out, like, the basic idea of the tree that I want to do right here. Just trying to plan out a bunch of stuff. We have a little wheat field over there that you're probably gonna have a couple other plants going around. We're just trying to get the basic idea going. I feel like this is gonna be a little too short. Thing is, I'm not sure how tall I want the tree in the frame here. I think I will get back to that later. For now, I think I want to figure out where that second... Nice base, by the way. Thank you. Much appreciated. A lot of the work has been going on underground at the minute, but I'm trying to start prettying up the above ground. Emphasis on trying. I'm feeling kind of like over here nearby the dome again, kind of as a little break, and also kind of greets you to the dome. in a sense. Slothman beating me in subs. I'm gonna be honest completely. I haven't really been paying attention. Why is there just a hole? Base space I have right now is a 10 by 3 by 10 cave. I mean, caves are pretty underrated. I mean, a lot of my bases are just kind of end up being caves, because when you have a cave or something that's underground, you can kind of just expand out infinitely without having to worry about what the exterior looks like. Like this, for instance, trying to figure out the exterior of this place would be a nightmare. I guess this is a pretty good explanation as to why my single-player world base is mostly interior. Sup, G Money? Oh, made an Enderman angry somehow. But yeah, this just looks wonderful. But once you go inside, it looks fine-ish. Except in here, this is just a copper aging area, but yeah, hey Grizz, how's it going? Hopefully you're doing well. I keep confusing the sessions. Well, for those who don't know, CJ is playing World of Warcraft. Oh, hi. The Enderman opened the door for us. My guild has to switch to retail. Wow. Time to grind them levels on a demon hunter. Gotcha. Best of luck on that. Sean, I'm so sad Montreal. What? I was watching and cheering for... Oh, is that like is it like some sort of sports team? Because I'm usually pretty out of the loop when it comes to anything sports related. We love sports ball, yeah. We are not posers whatsoever. Hockey, I was actually watching them when we were playing last night, but I was more distracted by toilet time. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna replace this with that, just so there's like a little bit of a outline effect. I know I'm sad that they lost and I didn't have the channel to watch them. I tried doing a survival series, but it was taking 1 to 2 hours to just film and then 2.5 hours to edit, but the maximum views I got was 12, so I quit. When it comes to like Minecraft YouTube, it's definitely a lot of time put in, and especially at first, not a lot of reward. It ultimately just kind of depends on a multitude of factors, but the thing is with Minecraft is that you definitely have to learn how to stick to something, and most importantly, like you can't just be doing it only for views, because you're you're gonna burn out long before you get anywhere. Besides, is Minecraft really boring for survival series for the 15th time? CJ, I just don't think sandboxes are your type of genre. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, dude. I've never really seen you thrive. Oh, I completely forgot I put that little notification in. But Jeff, thank you for subscribing. Much appreciated. So I've been reading a couple books about today about World War II, written by Winston Churchill. Very insightful stuff. Are the pages sharp? Thinking of restarting the series. That could be nice if you want to. If like you didn't like your general spawn area, or you didn't really like the idea that of like what builds you're going for. But if like my general advice is like if it's just one of those cases where you don't really have a proper reason, I would recommend just trying to continue what you had going, just so you can get past the early game. But I know that some people prefer playing mostly early games, so mostly it's up to you, obviously. Worried how's the computer? Yeah, unfortunately it's still being an issue. I think it's mostly on the software side. I kind of like how this one is like so much closer than that one. I like having a little bit of imbalance with things, I've noticed, especially as of recently. Like for the build that I have over here, it's purposefully not really in the middle. Like this side is a little bit shorter than this side, and the main walking area is kind of teetered a little bit to the right. I don't know why I've been liking that all of a sudden, but at least you're feeling better. Or yeah, it's oh my gosh, I am not able to speak. I'm glad Ori's feeling a lot better too. Being sick sucks, as I have recently experienced. It seems to be a lot of the same thing going around, though, especially in America. I mean, I have managed to get just under 70 subs from Minecraft, but it's taking too long. It was school and stuff. It's hard. Yeah, with Minecraft, it's definitely one of those. Well, okay, it depends on what you're doing, because there are ways of. And my wings are not. Oh, I'm having that weird item glitch thing again, where in my inventory everything shows up weird. But yeah, it just has like if you're doing like your typical survival series, it's definitely the a slow and steady type deal. And eventually your channel sort of has a backbone that you build through having an ongoing series. And there are ways you can kind of minimalize certain things, like say, you know, you could do like 100 days of Minecraft in a single video. I know that's how a lot of YouTubers do it, especially in the modern day. I don't watch that many modern YouTubers, so I couldn't tell you how that all works for certain, but miss you and your streams. I do miss Ori's streams, but I guess we're just gonna have to be patient. Wait and you shall receive. So is this... something's off about this shape. I think I want to round it off, like right here. That'll do. And then maybe make like another little blob here, just to give a little bit of irregularity. Just have a more interesting shape in general. I guess the entrance to this building is going to be over here, which honestly I'm okay with. I always like the aesthetic of having a farm next to a building. If you can tell from my spawn base. I'm probably gonna have to end up intermixing some moss into here as well, so I guess Tinnikin's gonna be seeing some business from me. High five, sick gang. Well, at least you got some camaraderie. But yeah, I hope you get better soon, CJ. It's like the kids keep getting sick. Now, thankfully, they're not my kids, so I don't have to interact with them all that much. And, you know, especially when they're sick, we're especially careful on that sort of thing. To clarify, they're my roommate's kids. I don't just have some random kids in my house. That'd be weird. But, yeah, you know, they go to school, they bring back diseases, it happens. Who's your favorite Spice Girl? I am not familiar with this term. I think I kind of want to break this up. More dirt. Pop culture reference, Slothman, you wouldn't get. Yeah, sorry. I grew up on YouTube and Newgrounds. Mostly Newgrounds. So I'm not gonna get many pop culture references. Although I did listen to a lot of like pop music on the radio. Not voluntarily, I'll be honest with you. It was mostly because that's what my mom liked to have on the radio, and I was not a massive fan. Okay. So what other details do I kind of want to have around here? At least I have that, you know, there, just so it's a nice note. It's like, hey, put tree here. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do that during the stream. I think I need to have a much more collected mindset before I try anything like that. I'm intrigued to see how that Enderman managed to get up there. Oh, you know what? It's probably because the copper isn't lit. Honestly, I'm not that concerned. How many Pog Slammers did you have when you were a kid? Any shiny ones? I I have no idea what you're talking about. You say Pog, and I think of, like, you know, the usual Twitch.tv culture type Pog. Or Twitter or whatever. Although you might be talking about, like, Pogs, like what they used to do on the playground or whatever. I'm kind of debating on whether I want to lean into cottagecore a little bit. Like maybe futuristic cottagecore? I'm not certain. Have you watched the Minecraft movie? And if so, is it good? Okay, so a little story. I went out to... Might as well get some chorus fruit while I'm here. The only reason I went to see it was because I knew... I literally the night before I heard that some friends of mine were gonna go see it. I was like, I'll join in too. It's a good excuse to hang out. Otherwise, I would not have seen it. It's definitely not worth going to see in theaters unless you have a friend group. Because the movie itself, it's not that great in terms of a Minecraft movie. It's very hard to take seriously, if you know what I mean. Like there's so many plot points that, like, if you're an avid Minecraft fan, a lot of the movie's plot kind of starts to fall apart. Like, say, for example, how did Steve get Elytra when it's quite obvious he has not gone to the end yet? That sort of stuff. While hearing Slothman say cottagecore. I've talked about cottagecore before. Although it's usually when I'm playing Minecraft. I've played Minecraft since 2015, and I didn't really like the trailer. Yeah, unless you're going with friends specifically to make fun of it, it's not really worth it. I'd say just save it for, if you need to watch it, just wait until it comes to streaming services. And usually, like, especially with Minecraft stuff, I try not to be a super negative Nancy, but yeah, it's pretty hard to deny. Dang it. I'm running into issues. Apparently I can't shoot half my shots. You know, I used to be a pretty good shot when I used to play Minecraft survival games. Or mcgamer.net. Now I suck with the bow. I'm washed up. I'm sure if I practiced, I would probably get a little bit of my bow skill back, but I haven't been what I would consider good with the bow for probably 3 years. That's probably enough, right? Boop. Oh, that's so satisfying every time. But one of the main reasons I wanted to get more of these is because I do want to have some chorus fruit around the island. It's just, you know, the way they're spread out right now is just kind of a mess. I kind of want to have them sprawling up alongside, you know, some of the taller buildings, you know? 3 years, that's like 15% of your life. Yeah. It's only gonna grow. The thing is, these days, it's not entirely easy to get into, find servers to practice your bow skills, because a lot of it is just melee combat, which every once in a while I'll try to de-rust, just so I'm not absolutely helpless in a combat situation. But I find myself in combat situations so rarely nowadays because I don't really play that much PvP anymore. But 3 years, that's more. So like, shoot, I actually don't know how to do that math off the top of my head. Oh, who am I kidding? I have plenty of chorus flowers. Oh goodness. I had more than I thought I did. Although, I am probably going to be needing to use a decent amount of purple, so it wasn't a complete waste. Probably the only bills that I will probably ever properly use purple in. That's because I'm really forcing myself to. Because, you know, if you're playing in the end, you gotta at least try to use purple to some degree. Purple and endstone and what have you. Yeah, I was actually kind of a little bit low on coarse fruit. Oh, that's right, because I put in so much at my... oh, didn't realize I had more coarse flowers on me. I really want to hit that Enderman with the... You know what? Do I have it anywhere? Where do I have it? I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't remember. Here we go. I have not had a lot of mace practice, especially with the elytra. So let's see. Wow, I sucked. Oh, I'm gonna die. Dang. I think I must have hit the ground before I hit him. That's not embarrassing at all. You know, for how many trial chambers I've raided, I've only gotten the one heavy core, which is a little wild. I was trying to grind forever, trying to get Precipice. How long have you had that world? In terms of this world, this is a SMP. And it's been going for a little under a year. A lot of the work has been underground. But now I'm starting to try to do... Oh, here's the Enderman. Okay, he's moving too much. Never mind. But at the minute, we're just kind of goofing off, trying to plan it out as much as I can. How many do I need? Like 40 or something to redo this? But welcome in, Jeff Minecraft. Hopefully you're having a good day. But yeah, in terms of nations and nobles stuff, I kind of have a direction with where I want to go for the rest of the series, but I honestly, I should probably maybe encourage some sort of meeting. I don't know. Oh, I'm normal Jeff, but Minecraft version. I was wondering, but I wanted to be safe. Didn't want to just assume like you were the two same people. I do have a world that I've been playing on for a little over 2 years now, but I I haven't had a lot of progress on it for the past year because Nation of Nobles has been taking up the majority of my time, mostly just because of like certain plot things. So I need to, you know, keep up with it. But after this season, I'll probably go back to playing that on a more regular basis. Okay, so I feel like I kind of want to do something here, but I'm not entirely certain because this will be kind of behind some of the buildings. Maybe in just another building. I don't know what the building is gonna be yet. Oh, there they are. Where did I put the red wool? All right, see you in a bit, Kristen. I'm not gonna actually plan out the shape here right now. I'm just gonna be like, oh hey, maybe possibly try to do a building here. Maybe. That's actually probably too close, but I still have all this stuff here. Honestly, I should probably start moving all my storage bits underground and actually utilize the storage spaces that I do have. Didn't know I had that. I mean, yeah, that total number can sometimes be surprising, especially when you haven't had a look at it in a while, especially when you evaluate things on a more daily basis, I guess. But that being said, I think I'm going to end the stream off there. Thank you everybody for watching. I do need to get ready for some things a little bit later. So yeah, thank you for watching and have a good one.